Okay, so let's talk about technology and seniors in 2025. Things are really changing, aren't they?
They absolutely are. It feels like we're moving past just, basic apps.
Right. It's becoming something more integrated, maybe even like AI feeling like a trusted friend.
That's a great way to put it. And today, we're diving deep into those advanced AI applications specifically for seniors, looking at 2025.
Yeah, forget the surface stuff. We want to get into how this technology is really starting to make a difference.
It's a fascinating shift. These AI tools aren't just theoretical anymore. They're becoming everyday solutions, actually impacting lives, offering support, independence.
Exactly. And guiding us through this is the work of Steve Pfrenzinger. He wrote AI Made Easy for Seniors Part 1 on X.com, but we're really focusing on Part 2 today.
Right. Part two digs into these more advanced applications we're seeing emerge in 2025. Steve's whole goal is making AI less intimidating, more helpful for seniors.
And he covers some really interesting ground. We're talking health monitoring, social connection, even safety from scams.
Yeah. Don't forget mobility and cognitive health, too. Huge areas.
Absolutely. So where should we start unpacking all of this? Maybe health.
Yeah, let's start there. AI in health monitoring is, well, it's revolutionary. It's way beyond just simple reminders now.
Okay, how so?
Well, by 2025, these systems give real-time insights. Think wearables. Steve talks a lot about these. They track sleep, eating, movement.
Even glucose levels, right?
Exactly. Glucose levels, subtle changes like maybe a slower walking pace. The AI can pick that up and alert caregivers.
It's pretty amazing. Steve actually shared his own story about using a continuous glucose monitor, a CRM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said even though he doesn't have diabetes, just seeing how food affected his glucose instantly was like a real eye-opener for him about his own body.
That perfectly illustrates the potential, doesn't it? Even if you don't have a specific condition, that real-time feedback is powerful.
For sure. It makes you think how valuable that could be for seniors.
And Steve, in his work, he outlines the range of things these devices can track in 2025. It's quite a list.
Like what?
Heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, breathing rate, stress indicators, hydration, body temp, even ECGs, plus all the physical activity tracking.
Wow, that's comprehensive.
It is. And Steve emphasizes that this constant monitoring is actually quite unobtrusive.
That's key, isn't it? Not feeling like you're constantly hooked up to medical gear.
Precisely. Often it's just integrated into a watch or small sensors, stuff you barely notice.
And the impact.
Yeah.
Steve mentioned something about hospital visits.
Yeah, he highlights data suggesting AI health tools led to about a 20% drop in hospital visits for seniors in 2025, mostly because issues are caught earlier.
That's significant.
It really is. And think about what that means for someone wanting to live independently. It builds confidence, offers peace of mind, just like Steve points out.
Okay, moving on from health, what about staying connected? Social isolation is a big problem for some seniors.
A huge problem. And this is another area Steve explores where AI and also virtual reality are making inroads in 2025.
VR, how does that work for seniors?
Well, Stick talks about these VR platforms designed for them. Imagine being able to, travel virtually or attend a family gathering happening miles away.
Like teleporting into the living room.
Kind of. He gives this great example, a senior in Seattle joining Thanksgiving dinner virtually with family down in Florida.
That really does bridge the distance. But it's not just VR, is it?
No, Steve also covers AI companion tools. These are getting smarter, integrated into the home.
So more than just asking Alexa for the weather.
Definitely. They can suggest activities, play music based on what you like, make video calls super simple. They're becoming more proactive companions.
And this seems important, they aren't meant to replace people, right?
Absolutely not. Steve is very clear on that. They complement human interaction. They don't substitute for it.
And does it seem to be helping with loneliness?
It appears so. Steve's research for 2025 suggests about 35% of seniors using these kinds of tools report feeling less lonely.
That's a really positive outcome.
It shows the potential impact on well-being.
Okay, but there's a flip side to AI getting smarter, right? Scams. Steve addresses this too.
He does, and it's critical. Because while AI offers benefits, it unfortunately also creates new risks, especially scams targeting seniors.
And these AI-powered scams are getting worse.
Yeah, according to Steve's findings for 2025, there's been like a 30% jump in these things. Voice cloning, deepfake videos, they're getting much harder to spot.
That's genuinely scary. Can you give an example?
Steve mentions things like getting a call where AI perfectly mimics your grandchild's voice, saying they're in trouble and need money urgently.
Oh, wow.
Or a fake video call that looks exactly like a government official asking for sensitive information. Very convincing, very dangerous.
So how can seniors protect themselves? Is AI part of the solution too?
Thankfully, yes. Steve points out there are AI tools emerging that can analyze emails, calls, even videos looking for those red flags.
Like what kind of red flags?
Unusual phrasing, maybe inconsistencies in the story or behavior, things a human might miss under pressure.
So AI fighting AI in a sense.
Sort of, yeah. And Steve also gives really practical advice.
Like what?
Just basic verification. If you get an unexpected request for money or info, hang up, call the person or agency back using a number you know is legitimate. Don't trust the incoming call or message blindly.
Simple but effective. It sounds like a mix of awareness and using these new protective tools is the way forward.
Absolutely. Education plus technology. That's how seniors can hopefully enjoy the benefits safely.
Okay, let's shift gears. Mobility. Huge factor for independence.
Huge. And as Steve discusses, transportation can be such a barrier. But self-driving cars are starting to offer a real solution in 2025.
It still feels a bit sci-fi, but it's actually happening.
It is. Steve notes that these services, often through ride-hailing apps, are popping up in more and more U.S. cities.
And they just use AI to drive themselves.
Yep. AI handles the navigation, the driving, letting seniors travel independently, appointments, seeing friends, shopping, whatever.
That could be life-changing for someone who can no longer drive.
Totally. Steve even talks about his own experience with his Tesla's self-driving features.
What did he say? Was he nervous at first?
He admits there was definitely a learning curve, learning to trust it, but eventually he got really comfortable just using voice commands or putting a pin on the map or typing an address.
And the car just takes you there?
Safely and directly. He mentioned neat things too, like using the blinker to suggest a lane change or tapping the accelerator slightly without fully disengaging the system.
Sounds quite intuitive.
Very. And Steve adds that by 2025, they're getting more senior-focused features, better voice controls, maybe automatic notifications to family when they arrive safely.
That's thoughtful. And has it made a difference in how much people get out?
Apparently so. Steve cites data from 2025 showing seniors using these services reported a 25% increase in social outings.
Oh, a direct link to reducing isolation again.
Exactly. More freedom, more connection. It really shows the practical benefits.
Okay, one more big area. Cognitive health. A major concern for many as they age.
Right. And Steve highlights how AI is stepping in here too, particularly for early detection.
How can AI detect cognitive decline?
It's fascinating. In 2025, as Steve explains, AI tools can analyze subtle things in speech patterns, word choice, even typing behavior, looking for early signs of conditions like dementia.
Really? Just from talking or typing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Steve mentions pilot programs in 2025 showing impressive accuracy, like 85% in identifying people potentially at risk.
85%. That could allow for much earlier intervention.
That's the goal. Getting help sooner, potentially slowing progression, improving quality of life. Steve even suggests that, a regular chat with an AI assistant could almost act as a sort of informal checkup.
Interesting, but it's not a diagnosis, right?
No, absolutely not. And Steve stresses this. These tools aren't replacing doctors. They're providing data, maybe prompting someone to say, maybe I should get this checked out.
So it empowers seniors to be more proactive about their brain health.
Exactly, providing valuable information for them and their families.
Now, looking beyond these core areas, Steve also mentioned some emerging trends for 2025 and maybe further out.
He does. One thing he notes is a real surge, like 25% growth in 2025 in local tech for seniors workshops.
Oh, that's great. Hands-on help.
Yeah, providing that supportive space to learn about voice assistants, smart home stuff at their own pace. Steve sees that as really important for adoption.
Makes sense. What else?
He also points to AI combined with augmented reality, AR, for physical therapy at home.
AR for exercises. How does that work?
Imagine like visual guides projected in your room showing you the movements, and the AI monitors your form, tracks progress. Steve says early users in 2025 reported about a 15% mobility improvement.
Very cool. Using tech to make therapy more engaging and accessible.
And one more personalized entertainment. Streaming services using AI not just for recommendations, but for specific needs.
Like suggesting shows with audio descriptions for visually impaired viewers.
Exactly that kind of thing. Making entertainment more inclusive, more tailored.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. based on Steve's insights. For listeners, maybe seniors themselves or caregivers, what are some practical first steps?
Steve offers some good ones. For seniors, he definitely recommends checking out those local tech workshops. Get hands-on.
Good starting point.
Also, maybe explore VR for social connection. Start small, short sessions. And crucially, set boundaries with AI. Balance it with real human interaction.
Don't let it take over.
Right. And involve caregivers. Share experiences. Talk about any issues. Steve notes that something like 60% of caregivers in 2025 see quality of life improvements when seniors use AI, but that communication is key.
That collaboration sounds vital. What about the caregiver's role?
Steve really emphasizes how important they are, helping navigate the tech, watching for potential over-reliance, and being advocates for ethical AI use, making sure it empowers, not controls.
Which brings us to those ethical questions. As AI gets more involved, these must be coming up more in 2025.
Definitely. Steve touches on this. There's the risk of over-reliance. One expert warning he cites suggests 40% of seniors using AI for companionship might reduce human contact. That's a concern.
Yeah, you don't want tech to replace people.
Then there's privacy. Health monitoring gathers tons of data. Who sees it? How is it used? Steve implies the need for strong encryption, clear consent, sharing only with trusted parties.
And autonomy, right. The AI suggests, but the person decides.
Exactly. The AI might say, your reading suggests seeing a doctor, but the final choice has to belong to the senior. It should empower, not dictate. Steve notes there's growing advocacy for transparent, ethical policies.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive, based on Steve Pfrenzinger's work, really paints a picture of AI in 2025. It's, well, potentially transformative for seniors.
Absolutely. Proactive health monitoring, restored mobility, better social connections, the potential is huge.
And these tools are becoming, as Steve highlights, more accessible, more tailored for the 60-plus group, empowering independence, dignity.
But as we just discussed, and as Steve's work implicitly underlines, we have to be mindful. Ethical use is paramount.
Ensuring it complements human care, doesn't replace it.
Right. And the key, as Steve suggests, seems to be a gradual approach. Explore step by step. A workshop, trying VR, looking into scam protection.
Find what works for you.
Exactly. And remember Steve Frenzinger's core message. AI is meant to help, to enhance life, not to overwhelm.
It's about finding that balance, moving forward together so technology really can become that trusted companion for seniors.